Start game now. Dr. Doom is back, and he's brought with him a game featuring another mad genius, and that game is Impossible Mission for your Atari 7800, featuring some of the awesome original Epyx box art with two dudes doing a face-off while some robots do a dance and a great awesome explosion in the background. How cool is that? Let's go ahead and take Impossible Mission and pop it into our Atari 7800 Pro system and find out how this version holds up today. Let's go to the game. Impossible Mission was published by Atari and carries the copyright year of 1987, even though it probably came out a year or two after that. It is based on the popular 1984 Epyx computer game of the same name. You are Special Agent 4125, and your mission is to stop Professor Elvin Atombender, who is on the verge of hacking the launch codes of major military missile launch bases all around the world. You see, according to the manual, when Elvin was in college, he was only 215 points away from the maximum score of 100 billion points in the computer game Giggling Penguin Invaders from Outer Space in the vicinity of Ursa Minor, when the power failed. It was at this moment that the evil genius totally snapped, determined to avenge his loss by destroying the world itself. You see, kids, not only can playing too many games hurt you, but also the civilizations around you as well. Impossible Mission is a multi-screen platformer for one player only with only one standard mode of difficulty. Your goal in the game is to enter Elvin's underground stronghold, break his security codes by finding and assembling pieces of the codes scattered throughout the 32 rooms, and entering his control room in under 6 hours. You have unlimited lives, but every time you lose a life, you lose 10 minutes as well. When you enter a room, there are typically several objects you can search by pressing up on the joystick. These can range from fireplaces to bathtubs to electronical equipment and much more. Bigger objects tend to take a longer time to search than smaller ones. Your progress is saved, however, if you don't complete a search in your first attempt, as long as you don't leave the room. When you complete a search, you will either get nothing, a robot snooze, a lift reset, or a security code puzzle piece. If you press up on a computer terminal, you can activate snoozes and temporarily freeze the robots, and lift resets to reset the lifts where they originally were when you first entered the room. Elevators found outside in the halls and room lifts are activated the same way by pressing up or down on the joystick when standing on them. Pressing either button allows you to jump, which will be necessary to use to avoid the robots, who can have various actions. Some of them stay in place while others pace back and forth. Some will zoom towards you when you make eye contact with you, while others will zoom toward the direction of your footprints even if you're on a different level. Some robots even shoot out electronical bolts. Touching the bolts or the robots themselves will cost you a life and 10 minutes of your time. Thankfully, if you use a snooze on the robots, you can walk through them while they are asleep. Some rooms also have floating orbs that can sometimes be pushed out of the way by using the lifts. 2 rooms contain a gigantic black and white checkerboard. When activated, it will play 3 squares, each with a different pitch. If you put the pitches in order from lowest to highest, you will earn either a lift reset or a robot snooze. The board will then give you another opportunity, but every time it does, it will add another square to the pattern. When you are standing still in a hallway, pressing either button will bring up your pocket computer. Here you can bring up to 4 of your found security code puzzle pieces to the center area. In this area, you can flip them vertically and horizontally and change their color to match other pieces. If 2 pieces fit together, they will merge, and if you're able to merge 4, you will successfully find one of the security codes. You can use the phone icon on the left to ask if you have enough pieces to solve the upper left piece, or to flip the leftmost pieces to the correct orientation. Each time you place a call, it will add 2 minutes to your time. While today we are used to wireless internet and small pocket-sized computers, this was actually very forward-thinking at the time of the original release. If you solve all 9 puzzles and enter Elvin's room, which is represented by a giant square panel in one of the rooms, you will win the game. However, there is a problem with the North American version of the game, where puzzle pieces got hidden under computer terminals that you can't search. And according to one report, one of the 36 puzzle pieces is completely missing from the game as well. Either way, this makes the North American version truly impossible to defeat. Thankfully, this was fixed for the European PAL release. Whether you beat the game or not, you will be given points at the end of the game based on puzzle pieces found, snoozes and lift resets found, puzzles solved, and if you beat the game, and if so, how much time was left on the clock. Graphically speaking, I really like this game on the 7800. The animation of your character is very well done, and I like the variety of rooms. Sound-wise, a lot of people don't like the way this version sounds, but I totally dig it, thinking that it sounds very mechanical and fits the mood of the game, but it is lacking the voices from the original Commodore 64 version. And I would say that this is a family-friendly game, but it is pretty tough and younger players probably won't be able to handle it. On eBay, loose copies go for about $15. There were 2 complete copies that sold, one for $24 and one for $47, and a new copy that sold for $34, so it is kind of hard to get. So would I recommend Impossible Mission for the 7800? Well, it does take some time to get used to the way your character jumps and moving around the rooms and just getting used to the game, but once I did, I had a lot of fun. However, it's a big shame that the original release was unbeatable. So I would say if you have an ability to play a fixed version, I would definitely go for that first, but on its own, it still can be an enjoyable game, but it does sting a little that you can't beat it. So where am I going to rank Impossible Mission? Well, if it was truly fixed, it would definitely be in the top 5. But as it is, I'm going to rank the North American version as it was released being impossible to beat. I still enjoy playing it, but I do wish you could beat it. So let's see. At number 17, I have Dark Chambers, and I'd rather play this than Dark Chambers, but at 16, I have Kung Fu Master. Now, Kung Fu Master doesn't control as good, but you can beat the game if you are lucky enough. So I'm going to give that a slight edge and put Impossible Mission as my new number 17 game. Impossible Mission, sometimes the word impossible really does mean impossible. If you enjoy the Atari 7800, like to learn more about it, be sure to check out my podcast, the Atari 7800 Game by Game Podcast, available at iTunes, Stitcher, and right here on YouTube. You can find out more about this game and Real Sports Baseball in episode 14. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to support me, you can now on Patreon. Just go to Patreon and search for The Noseful Gamer. Thank you guys for giving me a little part of your day. And remember, the best kind of robots are the sleeping ones. Take care, everybody.